Today on the Ask Brady Show, we talk about the best affordable budget gimbal stabilizers. Well, hey there, Pro Church Nation, and welcome to the Ask Brady Show, episode number 36, where we've got 4 great questions from the people of Pro Church Nation, and I'm joined, as always, to my left, it's your right, it is Roxanne.
It's true.
True it is, behind the camera, the editing wizard himself, Joan X. And returning alongside me from Atlanta, the man with the cam, Alex Mills.
Thanks. It's not really as special as it sounds because I work here, but I'm here.
Like I said, Alex and I just came back from Atlanta, finished off all 31 MLB ballparks I have. I've been to every single one now. And we went to that church conference, met up, well, thank you, with a ton of Pro Church Nation peeps. And we're recording 2 episodes of Ask Brady today.
Back to back.
You'll get them normally. But I'm headed off to Greece for 2 weeks on a second honeymoon of sorts with my wife.
Aw, that's
alongside
nice.
2 other people. So that's why it's of sorts. But we're going to record 2 today. That's why I've got 2 drinks, Canada Dry and black coffee. Actually, this is espresso. But with that all being said, let's dive right in. No more ado, Roxanne. The first question. Take us away.
The first question comes from Steve, and he sent in a video.
Hey Brady, my name is Steve Meldy. I am pastor of Christ Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona. Yep. The typical 55-year-old pastor of a congregation that gets about 300 in worship on Sundays and is a very active mission-minded group. Been using a lot of your advice. It's been great, increasing social media awareness and connection. And I have a question for you. What is your favorite sort of stabilizer bar? Okay, so as I'm out doing videos, all of my life I've had really shaky hands, and so my videos are really shaky. And so I'm looking for some sort of selfie stick stabilizer bar that will help give me a smoother picture. What do you recommend?
Thanks for the question, Steve. And as you alluded to, for those that are unaware, the average lead pastor in the Protestant world as of 2016 is 54 years old. And the reason that number is important is because in the year 1992, the year after I was born, about 25 years prior, the average age of a lead pastor in the Protestant world was 44 years old, so a full 10 years younger. And this is not an insignificant trend. Our pastors are getting older and older. And so big props to Steve for being willing at his age to discover a whole new way of communicating that he did not grow up with. You know, if we had more pastors, Steve's age, mid-50s, willing to do that. And if Steve's talking about gimbals at this point, and he had a lapel mic in his video, dude is making some progress. And he also mentioned, my church is about 300. 85% of churches, the latest data that I've seen, don't surpass 200. So if you're in the 200 to 300 size, like that is quite average. And so what Steve is saying is, look, I am the most average of all average. And that's great because the majority of people that attend churches don't attend mega churches. Like the vast majority of people in the world, and the people in North America in particular pertaining to these statistics, when it comes to attending church, attend these types of churches. So it's not bad to say you're average. That's what the majority of people are experiencing. So not only are it would be sad if you would say, look, 9 out of 10 churches are 200 people, and the 10th church is 20,000. And then you'd be like, wow, like 90% of people go to the big church. But that's not how it works. There are so few mega churches and so many churches that are average size that the majority of people, vast majority, go to those average size churches. What does that say? Well, most people probably prefer going to those types of churches.
It's true.
Mega churches aren't for everyone. The data would show that mega churches aren't for most people, in fact. And so don't ever feel bad if you are an average church, because that is what the data would say most people prefer. Doesn't mean we can just settle with where we're at, and Steve clearly isn't. To respond to his question, what you're referring to, Steve, is what's known as a gimbal. 2-axis, 3-axis. Basically, a gimbal takes your camera or your mobile device and it stabilizes it in such a way that when you move, the camera, while moving, stays perfectly smooth. The movement is smooth and not shaky. Looks as if it's floating through the air. You can throw a big camera on these, a steady cam. We use the the DJI Ronin gimbal for our Ursa mini camera, but there's a lot of really compact ones as well. And so the few that I want to share with you, first is one that includes a camera in it, and that is the DJI Osmo. Costs about $500 to $600, and it's the best quality one that I'm going to share with you. And it is a little bit more expensive than the other two, but it comes with a camera already,
Right.
and it's all built into one. You can just take it out, and you can put your mobile device on it and use the mobile device as a monitor, so you can like turn it towards yourself and see yourself as you record, which is great. Of course, if that's too much, there are two actual ones that you could put your iPhone, Android, or mobile device on. The first one is the Yi Gimbal 3-axis handheld stabilizer. Yi spelled Y-I. If you just go to Amazon, Yi Gimbal, you can search for that. Costs about $150. And the other one is the Matop Gimbal, M-A-T-O-P. That one's about $190. Both of those come reviewed pretty well, and both are under $200. And that would hopefully take away that shake that you're experiencing, introduce some smoothness into your footage, and allow you to keep pushing forward in the world of digital and social. And one more time, Steve, big props to you. Way to go. All the best to you and your church and your community over there in Tucson.
Perfect. All right. Question 2 comes from Adam, and he says, how much of a drill sergeant should I be about fonts in the church? I know that we want to use the same font family or a pairing that we use for a website and official letters and print materials. Like, hey, we need to use Gotham. But what about low priority stuff like each staff person's email account, a fill in the blank for 10 people in pastor's small group, a parent's info sheet, etc.?
Well, thanks for the question, Adam, as always. My initial response to this is, look, pick one font and stick to it. Shouldn't be that hard. For instance, we are launching this new StoryTape brand. StoryTape is our new platform, unlimited stock video downloads on a single affordable subscription. For those that are unaware, we're launching in November. Storytape.com is where you can go and get on the launch list. You'll get a forever discount when we launch if you join that launch list at Storytape.com. We just surpassed 2,500 churches on that, and the buildup has not really even begun. So Pro Church Nation seems quite excited for this. When Alex and I were in Atlanta at that church conference, we had tons of people coming up to us, and most of them were saying, hey, we can't wait for Storytape. Can I get in early? I'm like, you'll get in as soon as it's ready. Trust me. We're working extremely hard behind the scenes. We're launching with more than 5,000 clips, 4K ProRes codec, so they are extremely high quality. You can get the graded version, which means they have some coloring already in them, ready to go, or you can get the ungraded version straight out of the camera for ultimate flexibility for you in post-production. Mm-hmm. And for those that are unaware when it comes to stock video, the average stock video from a big site like Film Supply, Dissolve, Shutterstock, Pond5, you're going to pay between $200 and $500 for just one 4K clip. One clip. Right. We got an email from a guy named Matthew in Pro Church Nation just last week while we were in Atlanta, and it was in the response to the email that we send out when you join the StoryTape launch list. So we sent out this email saying, hey, this is when we're launching. Here's what you need to know. And basically he responded saying, I can't wait for this. I'm really interested in the pricing because last month we spent $1,200 on a sermon bumper.
Wow. And
he got all the footage from Film Supply. And he still had to use some of his own footage because $1,200 still only gets you 5 to 7 clips. And Alex and I were reading this email and we were thinking to ourselves like, $1,200 for a sermon bumper? Like one video. That's one video, $1,200. I know churches that don't have $1,200 in their entire communications budget for a year. And that's not to say that this was a bad spending of money, because it wasn't, because there's nothing else that exists. Yeah. And so we're here to change that. So when it comes to pricing, we're actually going to have 3 different plans. Our unlimited plan is obviously going to be the most valuable. And if you have to spend $200 to $500 for one clip on one of the big sites, our unlimited plan is actually going to cost less per month than one clip on those other sites, which is huge. And if you can't afford that, we're going to have 2 smaller, more limited, but definitely affordable plans because we don't want to leave anyone behind. So with that being said, we're launching this new brand. And one of the things that went along with this with our designers was finding a font for this brand. Now, I don't want to tell you how much I spent on this font. I didn't make this decision. Our designers, who have done a phenomenal job with the StoryTape platform, and I cannot wait for you to see it when we launch in November and unveil it all, sent over the invoice to me for the font. I think it's Calibre from a brand called Kiln, K-I-L-N. Anyway, it was north of 3 figures, let's say. A little way north. Almost 4 figures just for our font family. But we have this font guideline, and this font is beautiful. And I fell in love with it during the mock process.
Right.
And then they were like, great, so now we just need to pay for it. And I was like, oh, I see what you did there. I see. You elevated my font palette without me knowing the cost, and then we're like, and here's your invoice. You go to a fancy restaurant where they don't even list the prices, and you're like, you buy this, and then they bring you the check afterwards, and you're like, oh, great. So where are we living for the next 3 months? Because we can't afford the mortgage anymore. Anyway, point of that being, once you pick a font, it's pretty easy, I've found, to stick to it, especially when you have some basic font guidelines. But even beyond that, Calibre, semi-bold, is what we're using for the majority of our story tape stuff. And we've been putting together a ton of materials because we're creating this brand from scratch. So, YouTube's YouTube titles, logo stings, a brand guideline, all of our social media platforms that we launched at Storytape on Instagram, go follow it. Our YouTube channel, My Storytape on Facebook, because for some reason at Storytape is taken on Facebook, even though if you go to facebook.com/Storytape, what do you find? Nothing. Facebook.com/MyStorytape. Go ahead and like it. We had to create a ton of marketing materials. That was just the last week. We're going to keep doing more going forward. It's not that hard, at least I think, to use the same font over and over again. Now, if those fonts aren't installed on every computer, now there is a point of tension. There's a barrier to actually doing that. So there is the possibility for people to want to use another font, I can see. And to get to Adam's question, the heart of it, to what degree of a drill sergeant do I want to be? How strict do I want to be? I mean, that's really up to you. At the end of the day, an email signature, a form being filled out for the student ministry, how big of a deal is it that it doesn't have that font? I mean, that's really up for you to decide. But there are certain things that are very easy for us to follow. And if we're not able to follow those, what are we even doing? That comes down to a culture and buy-in issue. An issue of does our staff really think this is important or not? Because there are things that are tough, right? There are things within communication that are very difficult. You want to have a website that's world class, maybe you don't have 10 grand to drop on it. You want to create amazing looking videos, you don't have 10 grand to drop on the video production gear needed to do that. And there are workarounds for that, right? You use Nucleus for your website. You shoot video on your mobile device. Thank you, Snapchat and Instagram, for making that okay. There are workarounds. It's not hard or expensive to choose a font, at least in Storytape's case, for the most part, to choose a font and just go with it. This is our font. We're going to use it. And at the end of the day, one of the most important things when it comes to design is not how much you spend on it, not how quality it is. It's just consistency.
Right.
Storytape, the brand, when it launches, is my favorite brand that we've ever launched. Even more than Nucleus, though we did a rebrand of that and it's coming in the new year, and maybe that'll become my favorite when that launches. But the Storytape brand is ridiculously well done. But if I'm not consistent with the brand guidelines, if I'm not consistent with using that font at the right size, with the right leading, and using the logos in their correct colors and in their correct orientation, it doesn't matter how great it is because I'm not going to be consistent with it. And one of the easiest things that we can do with our design is at the very least, remain consistent. Sure, maybe the designer of Apple didn't put together our brand. Maybe we couldn't spend that much on it. Maybe, we just don't have the budget or even the know-how. But gosh darn it, we can be consistent at the very least.
Truth.
And if your culture is just butting heads against that and just unwilling, then that's a culture thing. And you've got to deal with that at the root. But yeah, at the end of the day, does it really matter if one font is different? No, of course not. But it's symptomatic of a larger issue if you can't get everyone on board for that low-hanging fruit. And that low-hanging fruit is consistency. So that's why I think it's important. Not because that one piece of design collateral makes that big of a difference, but if the staff, leadership can't get on board with consistency when it comes to your visuals, that is going to be a problem on a macro level, if not a micro level. And I think it's demonstrative of a much bigger issue that's underlying beneath the surface.
Cool. All right. Question 3 comes from Luke, and he says, is it a good idea to purge your email list of, say, anyone who hasn't opened any emails in the past year? We have maybe 200 of these out of a 500-person email list. What do you think people are doing when they haven't opened an email in that long?
Great question, Luke. I think that this is actually one of the most important things that you can do to keep and maintain a healthy email list. The problem is that it's a huge hit to your pride and is so scary of an idea that most people don't do it, especially with smaller lists. So let's talk about how we just did it. Let's say about 2 months ago, we trimmed our list, which was at the time 40,000 churches. And basically, if you hadn't clicked or opened an email within the last 3 months, we siphoned you off of that list and put you into what we like to call a re-engagement campaign. And a re-engagement campaign basically was this. We took those 10,000 churches, put them on a new list, and sent them over the course of 2 to 3 weeks a bunch of different emails that were not the type of emails that they would normally get.
Right.
So they had different subject lines that were completely different than what we would normally send. We sent people their actual name in the subject line. We used all lowercase. We put in an emoji, just stuff that we wouldn't normally send to get their attention, just be like, hey, are you still there? And do you still want to be on this list? Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to be a part of Pro Church Nation, if you don't want to be on our email list, I don't want you to be on there because I don't want to bother you. Yeah. I don't want to send you an email of our 5 best tips for editing video announcements, which was the email we sent out on Thursday of this week, today, or yesterday rather, when this was being recorded. If you don't care about that, and if that's not for you, and not only that, but if nothing I've sent in the last 3 months is for you, then I want to unsubscribe you because you're just filling up the list, and more importantly, I don't want to bother you. Email for me, I love having inbox zero. I hit it every day. I don't want to receive emails that I don't want. And so I don't want to send you emails that you don't want. So we took those 10,000 people in, and basically what happened was we sent them a series of 2, 3, 4, 5 emails over the course of 30 days-ish. If they clicked any of the links within those emails, we automatically added them back to the main list, said, hey, they have been re-engaged, and we stopped sending them the re-engagement emails. For the 8,000-ish that did not click on any of those links, I unsubscribed them. They are gone. So our email list trimmed essentially from 40,000 contacts on our main list to 30,000. And that was a huge hit to my pride. I was like, man, 10,000 churches that either don't want to hear from us anymore or have not wanted to hear from us for a while. And here's what happened after that. Our open and click-through rate went up significantly.
Right.
Not just because of the ratio. It's not like the open and click-through rate went up because, there's less people on the list. And so if 1,000 people were opening before, that 1,000 now constitute a higher percentage. It was more than that. And I'm actually going to bring up the exact statistics from the 2 months to show you the big difference, okay? Because we keep track of all these. So in the month of July, our email list open rate was 23.98%. Which is one of the lowest that we had in a very long time. I was not happy with it. Our email list click-through rate was 3.72%, which is actually pretty good. We did, in the month of July, this big, cleansing of the list, re-engagement campaign. The month of August, our email list open rate was 29.17%, which was up a full 22%. And our email list click-through rate was 6.96%, which was up 87%. So, an increase of 22% open, an increase of 87% click after having removed about 25% of the list. So the open rate proportionally stayed about the same, but the click-through rate went up considerably, and we've been hitting above 30. The month of August, that wasn't a full month of the new list.
Right.
So it's actually been more than that. We've been hitting above 30 on opens, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, consistently with every email. Because what happens is, of course, the ratio, goes up. We removed 25% of our list. Now our open rates are 25% higher. That's proportionate to who we removed. But beyond that, what happens is Gmail, ActiveCampaign, who we're using, and all the other big email clients, when more people are opening the emails that you're sending, they're like, oh, this is a good list. Let's send this to more people.
Right.
That's the way that email deliverability works. Now, email deliverability can feel a little bit like just a mystery sometimes, but this is one of the biggest things, is that if people are opening and clicking your emails, the email campaign wizards and gods will say, oh, great, let's send it to more people. It's the same thing when it comes to social media algorithms. If more people are engaging, the social network gods are going to show it to more people. It's as simple as that. And so I think cleaning your list periodically, once a quarter, once a year, twice a year, whatever it might be, is one of the best things that you can do. The data would support that. You'll see more opens and more clicks because of it. You'll spend less money because you're not sending to as many contacts, but you've got to get over that difficulty of knowing that your list is going to shrink. You got to ask yourself, if people don't want to hear from you, do you want them on your list? Send them through that re-engagement campaign and give them one last chance. Because it's tough to just eliminate them. And this is what I used to do. I just used to eliminate people. And then I remember talking to one of my reps from Active Campaign, and they said, look, don't just eliminate them. Send them through a re-engagement campaign. Give them a chance to say, wait. I want to still be here. Because there were plenty of people that responded and be like, oh yeah, sorry, I don't know why I haven't clicked, but don't take me off the list. More than 2,000 churches, in fact. We would have lost those forever if I just deleted those contacts. So put them through the re-engagement campaign. Give them a chance to say, yeah, I still want to be here. But if they don't want to be here, you don't want them there. Why would you want to bother someone if they didn't want to hear from you? So don't hold on to that last shred of hope. Maybe one day they'll open an email again. No, they won't. Delete them from the list. Increase your open and click-through rates. Increase your email deliverability. And increase the happiness of your list overall.
Alrighty. Last question comes from Taylor, and he says, our church is beginning to do email marketing, and I have found an issue. Our emails are going into the promotions portion of Gmail. How can I get out of promotions and get into their primary?
Another email marketing question. I love it. Email marketing, I think, is still the number one most important thing when it comes to digital communications. It's the biggest thing that moves the needle forward for us here at Pro Church Tools, and it's boring and old, but incredibly, incredibly efficient. I'll send out a blog post on Twitter to my 6,000 followers or to my 20,000 YouTube subscribers, and we'll get a couple hundred, clicks or watches. You'll send it out to email, you'll get a couple thousand. Yep. 10, 100 times more efficient, more response. It's amazing. To respond to this question, it's a common problem that so many of us have. The easiest solution is to do a little manual work and ask your subscribers to, within Gmail, with the 3 different tabs, right? In Gmail, you have 3 different tabs. You have primary, social, and promotions. If you and your emails are ending up in the promotions tab, ask your subscribers to manually, next time they get an email from you, go into Gmail and drag your email from promotions to primary. What this will do, similarly to people opening and clicking your email, like in the last question, what this will do is signal to Gmail, hey, this email doesn't belong here.
Yep.
This email does not belong in promotions. It belongs in the primary tab. If you have 100 people on your list and 10, 20, 30 of the people that you send to can go in and do that, that'll make a big difference. And you'll start ending up in the tab that you want to. Going forward, though, you've got to consider, why am I landing in the promotions tab to begin with? You're probably landing in there for reasons such as this. You're sending emails with a ton of graphics in them. You're sending emails with a ton of images in them. You're sending emails that seem spammy, that don't seem personalized. Here are the things that you want to do to avoid landing in the promotions tab to begin with. This is what helps us. Number 1, no pictures. Don't include any banner images, any dropped-in images, no images, just plain HTML, black and white text. Is it boring? We talked about this before. Yes, it's boring. Do people respond to it better? Absolutely, and it's not even close. Only include one link within your emails. This is tough for church newsletters. You may want to reconsider the way that you do things. But if you're sending multiple links in an email, who does that? Brands do that. Brands that are promoting a bunch of junk. So only do one link. We do this all the time. We send you an article, a podcast, a video. Just link one thing. We might link that same one thing on multiple different occasions, but it's still one link. So to Gmail and the email providers, they see it as, oh yeah, one link. I mean, individuals send each other one link all the time.
Yep.
Mention the reader's name. We do this at the top of every email. I'll send you an email. I'll say, hey, Roxanne, and I'll use the F name tag within Active Campaign to, if we have your first name on record, to send you an email with your first name at the top. This makes it look like it's from an individual. Finally, write like a human being. Okay? If you read my emails, it's writing like I'm talking. There's a lot of just slang. There's a lot of ... There's a lot of where it just seems conversational the way that you read it. At the end of the day, if you don't want to be in the promotions tab, your email has to not look like a promotion.
Yeah.
So you've got to look and appear like an individual would. Use someone's name. Talk like a human. Don't include pictures. Only include one link. This is what a regular email would look like. If I'm emailing Roxanne, I'm not dropping images in there. I might attach something, but I'm not going to drop an inline image. I'm going to call her by her name. I'm going to say, hey, Roxanne, not hey there, comma. And I'm also not going to include a banner and a big footer. And it's just going to be plain black and white text.
Yeah.
So number 1, you want to get out of promotions. have people drag over your emails manually to the primary tab. Number 2, you don't want to end up in promotions ever or ever again. Send out emails that do not look like promotions.
I love it.
That does it for this 36th episode of the Ask Brady Show. Thanks so much for following along. If you want your question answered, send in a video to hello@prochurchtools.com. When you send in a video question, you'll be sent immediately to the top of the queue, and you'll be the first one that gets your question answered. Of course, if you want to send in a text question, you can also send it to hello@prochurchtools.com if you're willing to wait. And you can also hashtag Ask Brady on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and we'll track down your question that way. Also, go to the storytape.com website, get on the launch list. You'll get a forever discount code when we launch. Thanks so much for watching. Pro Church Nation, we love you. Go Stees the 167. We'll talk real soon.
Haven't opened an email in that long. Do we have
The man with the cam out.
Do we have visitors? I can almost always tell when somebody parks in our parking lot when they're actually coming here for us.
More visitors. Yo, open it up.
Can we go see?
Well, bring them in here. Hey, we're recording Ask Brady. Come on the show. So we're recording Ask Brady right now, obviously, and we have visitors for the second day in a row. How's it going?
Going well. Mike.
Mike. And who's with you?
My wife, Mel.
Mel?
Yeah.
Melanie? Mel? What do you prefer?
Mary Ellen, so Mel.
Mel.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mel?
Hi.
Welcome to the Ask Brady Show. Okay, we're going to pause here and actually talk with them, but we'll get back in a sec.
Hey, so just drop by, man.
Oh, not at all, not at all. I'd love to show you the space. So this is where we record Ask Brady.